man, Jacob deGrom, he's been hurt. What he was doing, is incredible this year. He's been the best pitcher in baseball since it looks about 2018. Um, I mean, man, I'm tuning in on my MLB TV subscription. I'm not watching the Phillies just so I can watch deGrom. I don't care if I don't like the Mets. deGrom is, he's incredible. How incredibly frustrating is it, not just as a Mets fan, but to see what he was doing this year, possibly to go for Bob Gibson's ERA title, and then, I mean, obviously the Mets maybe they're in a different position if they have deGrom. How frustrating is that? Just all that right there with deGrom.
Yeah, it's awful. I mean, it's similar. It seemed like things went downhill when both him and Lindor went on the IL, which happened, I think, within like 24, 48 hours apart. And no, like Lindor wasn't having a great year, but he was still kind of like it seems like he was the glue that kind of held everything together, and he was playing a lot better from like June 1st on. But yeah, I mean, like with deGrom, it's incredibly frustrating just because he was doing something that was so freaking special. And it's like the same thing as when we talk about Mike Trout. I know you had a video like back in the beginning of May, how he had his best April ever. And it happened a couple years ago too. He was like lights out, and then he got hurt and missed like 6 weeks. And this year's been even worse. And it's just, when we're thinking about like marketing the game of baseball and being able to bring young fans in, like we want these younger like superstars to be able to have these top tier elite seasons that challenge old records. And it's really frustrating, and for the entire baseball world to not be able to get to see that particular greatness actually happen. It's really, really a shame.
Yeah, and like, I mean, man, he's literally leading the team in WAR still, and he hasn't played since like I couldn't even tell you. You probably could tell me. He's still leading the team in WAR. I mean, look, he was going. It seemed like he was doing historical things every single night. It was incredible. So how much does it concern you though? These injuries going forward. He is 33 years old. Not just this season. How concerning is it going forward with these? It seems like they're not super duper big injuries, but he's missing time for them. So there is emphasis on it. So how concerned are you just going forward for the future?
Well, I think there's got to be some kind of level of concern just because, like you said, he's not getting any younger. Obviously, he's been ramping up his velocity more than ever over the past few years. And, you got to think that has some kind of a toll, but still, like for the most part, his mechanics are sound from what everyone says. And it seems as if he's very in tune with his body and when things are happening. So, and I think like when things are like slightly off, either he tells somebody, which is good, or somebody notices as well too. But like, we're thinking about what's going to happen beyond this, and hopefully he's going to stay with the Mets for the rest of his career. Like, those are things that you need to think about and balance. And it's frustrating, a little bit worrisome. I mean, like, you have to think that the fact that they've been so cautious with him this year, that it's going to help him moving forward, just because, especially because of the truncated season from last year, like it's in fact impacted a lot of people with injuries and things like that. So like, you got to think that has something to do with it as well too. Just the ramping up in spring training, going dormant, ramping up again, having the short season, and then trying to go back and have a normal season again. Like that's hard to do for anyone. I feel like especially pitchers, because they have to take time to actually build up their arm strength to get to a certain point too.